Before I get back on the countdown, fantasy playlist of August 29th, 1987, I want to venture back to 1985. And I'm being a music nerd and a half, and I'll be the first to admit it, but got to go back to Night Tracks on WTBS. Another shout out to Night Tracks on WTBS, bringing all that new music that, well, at least you did initially hear on the FM radio, at least not here in Alabama anyway. But 1985, I remember when Night Tracks, they broke Obsession by Animotion, early 1985, and You Spin Me Around. Remember, first saw the video, You Spin Me Around, the iconic pulsating dance record by Dead or Alive. And I remember was it like the strobe light or whatever it was, and you got, I can't remember his name now, the guy, the lead singer of Dead or Alive, sort of, he struck me as the macho version of Boy George. Great dance record. It was one of those iconic records from the 80s, You Spin Me Around by Dead or Alive, and they had some good ones after that too. And Aha, Take On Me, back in the summer of 1985. I remember the night I watched the video, the brilliant animated video on Night Tracks back in the summer of 1985. And let's not forget the runner-up to Take On Me, The Sun Always Shines on TV, the anthem, the arena-sized The Sun Always Shines on TV, which performed a dismal number 29 on Billboard's Hot 100. Should have been a much bigger record, although it was top 5 in England and in some of the other European countries, certainly in Scandinavia. Go West, mentioned them earlier on in the countdown. Remember, Night Tracks broke We Close Our Eyes in the summer of 85. It's just a thrill. Now, for most people, I understand this. Most people, they don't care. They don't care. They're not interested in watching breaking new music and all that. But for music nerds like me, it's like, yeah, this is Nirvana. Absolutely musical Nirvana on Cloud 9, drifting on Cloud 9. Late spring, early summer, around that era in 1985, they broke a very obscure group. Night Tracks did, called Cock Robin. And I remember the night, although not quite as vividly, the night they broke, watched the video for the first time by Cock Robin. It was called When Your Heart Is Weak, 1985. So let's seg into the record at number 33 from their second album. After Here Through Midland, Cock Robin, Just Around the Corner at number 33, up 6 from 39 on this fancy playlist of August 29th, 1987. And I got to put on my DJ voice. I got to bring out my inner DJ. Here's the deal about Cock Robin that's amazing. They didn't do that well here in the States. As a matter of fact, When Your Heart Is Weak, it was their only hit. Closest thing they had to a hit. And I would venture to guess that probably the vast majority of people who are casual listeners anyway probably don't even have a clue who Cock Robin is. But they were more successful in England, well, not in England, but in continental Europe. France, Belgium, they were big over in Europe, at least the continental portion of Europe. Now let's go back to 1982. The band, the leader of the band, the genesis of the band, Peter Kingsbury, he was a budding songwriter in California. He could also play the keyboards, the bass. He was a vocalist. And now there's two stories that he went from Los Angeles to Frisco, but most sources has it that the group Cock Robin actually formed in Los Angeles back in 1982. Peter Kingsbury teaming up with vocalist Anna Locasio, I believe that's how you pronounce her last name, and Clive Wright. He's the guitarist, and drummer Louis Milano III. The constants in this band would be Anna Locasio, although she left the band in 2015, and Peter Kingsbury, who actually eventually moved to France in the 2010s, I believe, maybe a little bit earlier than that. For good reason, too, because they were so popular in France, Cock Robin. They got a deal with CBS Records, with Columbia Records. They put out their first album in 1985. When Your Heart Is Weak only got as high as number 35 on Billboard's Hot 100. But the song itself, top 10, When Your Heart Is Weak, went top 10 in France and Germany. The follow-up to that record, The Promise You Make, no impact in the States whatsoever. But top 10 in France, Germany, Switzerland, the Netherlands, they were jamming out on Cock Robin. Number 1 in Belgium, I think as of this date, There's still a video on YouTube where they perform a record in Belgium, a TV show in Belgium. The album after that, of course, after Here Through Midland in 1987. Now, by then, the band was down to Peter Kingsbury and Anna Locasio, session musicians. The album produced by a guy named Don Gaiman. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. He was a big producer back in the 80s. He produced albums by John Cougar, American Fool, and Scarecrow back in the 80s. And later, he produced an album by R.E.M., Life's Richest Pageant, Cracked Rear View Mirror by Hootie and the Blowfish. He produced that album. Of course, that brings back some memories. Late summer of 1994 when Hold My Hand by Hootie and the Blowfish came out. Remember that 45 spinning on that record player, if I remember correctly. Boy, those late summer memories. And we're in the late summer of 1987. Now, this record, Just Around the Corner, did not chart here in the States. But I got it down here that the song went top 20 in some European countries, in Scandinavia, and probably in Belgium as well. I got some chart positions here. Top 20 in Sweden and Switzerland. The record... Just Around the Corner got a steady backbeat to the record, a thick backbeat. And Peter Kingsbury delivering a very strong vocal performance. Probably saw this video on Night Tracks back in 1987. But once again, the song did not make an impact here in the States. They came out with another album. See, they worked with some major producers. Now, on this album they did in 1989 called First Love, Last Rites, produced by Rhett Davis, R-H-E-T-T, in case I mispronounced his first name. This guy, he worked with Roxy Music. Big band in England, although they did have that one hit here in the States, Love is a Drug, back in 76. He's worked with King Crimson and Genesis, but his magic just did not quite translate on this record. It might have been due to poor, on this album, First Love, Last Rites, poor management and poor promotions, I guess, on the part of CBS. As a matter of fact, Columbia did not even release the album until 1990, their third album. Although the album itself, it did okay in France, but here in the States, no impact whatsoever. The band broke up. The band more or less broke up in 1990, but they reformed again in 2006. And I already mentioned that Anna Locasio, she left in 2015, and Kingsbury, well, he moved to France. By the way, I forgot to mention this. Cock Robin, they got the name. It's from a 16th. Well, actually, it's from a story that was printed in the 1600s. The story was called "The Marriage of Cock Robin and Jenny Wren," or Wren, W-W-R-E-N. So there we go. I believe I covered all the basics on this video. Those night track memories, I tell you. Yeah, some fond memories there, I tell you what. Some fond memories at number 33, doing a lot better on my fantasy playlist and on the general charts here in the United States. Number 33 on my fantasy playlist, August 29th, 1987. It is Cock Robin, Just Around the Corner, at number 33, up 6 from number 39.